Hey everybody, before I get into this video, which may be a little bit controversial, let me just first of all say Merry Christmas, and let me thank you if you are a new subscriber. My channel's grown a lot in the last month, and I'm averaging almost a new subscriber every day, so thank you. Thank you very much. For whatever reason you find my content value, I certainly appreciate it, and if you're new here, I sure hope that I earn your subscription today. So leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. I want to have a conversation today about what I think might be the stupidest conversation among hunters. And I think that we just need to settle the debate. Live and let live. Shut up and let people do what they want. I'm a libertarian. I'm a bit of an anarchist. And I believe people should be able to do what they want to do. So, well, let me just get into it right here. I want to show you what I have in my left hand. In my left hand is a crossbow. This is the Barnett Recruit. I hunted with this bow for 2 seasons, this crossbow, and it's absolutely capable of killing deer. Shoots 400 grain arrows, 300 feet per second. It's accurate, it's fast, and it's effective. And in my right hand, I have my Gearhead T18 that, with 400 grain arrows, shoots at 239 feet per second at 55 pounds draw weight. And the question is, which one of these makes you a bow hunter? Right? I mean, you look on any Facebook archery group, bow hunting group, whatever, especially among bow hunters, the question is, which one of these that's for the thumbnail. Which one of these makes you a real bow hunter? That's the question. Now, this weapon is absolutely effective, outstanding, and incredibly easy. So what we have here is what Joe Rogan would call a crappy rifle. And honestly, I kind of agree. But at the same time, you know, maybe it's like saying a rifle is just a crappy nuclear missile. You know, they're both shooting projectiles at different speeds, right? Like a 22 is just a crappy 30-06. I don't know. But does shooting one of these make you a bow hunter? That's the question. And I think it's irrelevant. What difference does it make? It's a crossbow, has limbs, it shoots a projectile that for some reason is called a bolt, but it's just an arrow by another name, just some arbitrary redefinition happening. And I think the main beef people have with this is its simplicity. And I got into this because I quit bow hunting for about 17 years, and I didn't want to practice. That's the bottom line. I didn't want to pick up a bow and basically relearn how to shoot. So I was like, well, I can get a crossbow, and that's going to help me. And it's true. This is insanely easy. In fact, my son will be shooting this next year if he's unable to get to 45 pounds of draw weight to, you know, ethically kill a whitetail deer. So, but does that make him not a bow hunter? Okay, I mean, that's really the question. And the question, what we're talking about is, when we say, is it really bow hunting? What you're really saying is you're degrading the weapon and you're degrading the hunter, right? You're not a real hunter if you use a crossbow, because the implication is that because it's an easy weapon to use, therefore everything else about hunting is easy. Now with this, I have a maximum effective range of about 30 to 35 yards. Outside of that, I get really uncomfortable. It doesn't shoot as fast. It does take a lot more practice. And why did I get this when that's easier? What I forgot is how much I love shooting the bow. I just forgot how much I love archery. taking such a long break from it. So, but the reality is that everybody's lifestyle is a little bit different, right? Like, not everybody has the time, the inclination, the ability, or the skill to effectively shoot this. But here's the question. Which one makes you a real hunter? Which one makes you a real archer? They both do. They both do. Now, in Wisconsin, there is a separate record book for bows killed with a crossbow. I think it's appropriate. Just like it's because in principle, it's the same. It's still a little bit different because of the capability of these. You know, there's a race to 500 feet per second with a bow like this. Not all of us are Cameron Hanes that can crank our bow down to 90 pounds and hurl arrows from 60 yards away. Not all of us are capable. So is he more of an archer than me? Because I'm basically restricted to 50. I could go to 65 pounds. It just wouldn't be super enjoyable at the range shooting my 100 to 200 arrows a day that I like to do. So does it make me less of a hunter than Cameron Hanes to use a 55-pound bow and restrict my range? By choice, by the way. Now, what I don't have here is a recurve. What about those who are shooting long bows and recurves? They have no let off. They don't use a sight pin. They don't use a D-loop. They don't use a peep sight. Are they more of an archer than you, my compound bow hunting friends? Are they more of a hunter than you? A lot of longbow hunters, and I guess they call it traditional archery, right? It's traditional. Well, what makes it traditional? Because we did that a long time ago, before technology gave us cams and let off. I mean, that's like saying driving a Model T. Well, I'm a traditional. I drive a traditional automobile. I don't think the logic holds up. But it's a word that associates with something, right? So if you're going to be a purist, just be consistent, right? If you're going to denigrate a crossbow or a crossbow hunter and you're using a compound bow, well, who the hell do you think you are? Go pick up a traditional bow and show everybody what a real hunter you are. And, oh, you longbow hunters and recurve hunters that look down upon people who sit in saddles 25 feet up in a tree shooting a bow with 80% let off that they can hold at full draw for 2 minutes. I know because I've done it. Why don't you go and get an adladdle and go and kill your deer that way? Or why don't you go get a spear? You know what I mean? Like, this is how, if you're going to be logically consistent, that's where the argument takes you. What makes a real hunter? Listen, white-tailed deer, elk, muleys, antelope, they are all sufficiently difficult to hunt. We don't need to make it harder. I am all for a person making things as easy as they can on themselves. So, look, if you're going to hunt over a pile of bait, that's fine. That's fine. Because really, what's the difference between a pile of corn and a half-acre food plot? What is the difference? I can still use it to pattern deer movement and effectively kill a deer from it either way. So what's the difference? Logically, there is none. And I think we know that. So your weapon doesn't define your ability as a hunter. It just doesn't. You know, you still have to have good scent control, noise and light discipline. You still have to have a proper approach. You still have to play the wind. You still have to pick a spot where deer are going to be. You still have to be able to pattern deer and understand deer movement and behavior to get within range with this or this. You know, you still have to be a good enough hunter to get in range. So that's kind of my bottom line here, is like, instead of instead of denigrating each other for our choices and the weapons that we use, why don't we just celebrate each other as hunters? As long as nobody is poaching and breaking laws, then what's the difference? What's the difference? You know? Listen, when I rifle hunt, I use an open sight. I use a peep sight, which, you know, it's a type of an open sight. It's non-telescopic. I've never looked down on anyone who uses a scope and who boasts about shooting a deer at 450 yards, shooting the buck of their life at 550 yards. You know, I could argue, well, at this point, you're just a trigger man. You're a good shooter. Doesn't make you a good hunter. Doesn't take much to get within 400 yards of a deer, right? But at the same time, I killed an antelope. My longest shot was 380 yards with a peep sight. Okay? So what's the difference? What's the difference? There isn't one, logically speaking. So we just have to get past these petty, stupid, ridiculous arguments. We can have fun with them. We can, you know, make fun of each other. I want my son to be able to kill a deer with a bow, with a compound bow. He's got the Matthews Mission Craze 2 that is absolutely capable of killing a deer, just not yet. So that's something we're going to work toward. And if he doesn't get there by next September, guess what? He's got this. And it doesn't make him less of a hunter. It doesn't make you less of a hunter. And this doesn't make you more of a hunter. The weapon does not define you as a hunter. So let's all just get along, y'all. That's all I got to say about it. Let me know. Leave a comment down below. And like, comment, subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.